Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is my pleasure to introduce you to my good buddy, Wade Richmond. So, Wade is a weird kind of cat. He's done a lot, and the thing that I really want to focus on today, and there's a lot to focus on, is the fact that he spent an entire career as a senior executive in cybersecurity, all the way to the top of the rungs, and also life after the trenches of corporate cybersecurity warfare, and also moved into the fractional role of a CISO. And so we're going to ask quick-fire questions to a quick-fire of a guy, my buddy, Wade. Hey, good morning. Can you please tell us your name and your current role and what you're doing?
Good morning, Mr. Anderson. My name is Wade Richmond. Yeah, so hi, Adam.
I love that voice. That was good.
My name is Wade Richmond, obviously, as you know that. I'm the founder and CEO of CISO ToGo, and got into that in 2018 after, as you said, a long period of time in corporate America, starting out in more traditional IT, but then moving around the year 2000 into, at the time, was information security, transitioned into cybersecurity, and the rest is history, as they say.
So I'm going to ask you 10 questions. 5 of them are going to be very IT related, and then 5 of them are not. And these are quick fire. You do not have to think through them. Please don't drop any colorful metaphors. I don't think that's a risk for you. I've known you a long time, and you're pure as the driven snow. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Are you ready to be quick fired?
Please, sir. May I have another?
All right. What is the difference between fractional CISOs and full-time CISOs?
So really the difference is that I now provide the same services that I did in corporate America, except I provide them at a broader level to multiple clients. So my focus is at a strategic level and less so at a tactical level. But I provide guidance to other corporate or IT executives and help to structure programs, very much like I did in more of a traditional CISO role. But I have many hats, and I'm changing them all the time, all throughout the day.
That's cool. So by focusing on the strategy and not getting bogged down in the tactical execution, you can serve multiple companies, multiple clients. And I guess that means that you really have to work closely with the tactical guys and gals in the organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
A hot dog is an abomination. No, I don't eat them. It is neither a sandwich nor a real food.
See, that's strategic level thinking. He's not caring about the tactical execution of the question. He's thinking about the strategy behind the question. Guys, that's what it means to be at the top level of the game as a CISO. Describe one cyber incident that reshaped your cybersecurity strategies.
That would be tough to choose one cyber incident. I would say that in general, the world and the frequency, the volume at which they come at you has reshaped my strategies to be more focused on creating a cyber resilient organization. Because there's only so much you can do from a preventative measure. The bad guys are focusing 100% of their resources on doing bad things, and I've yet to find an organization that'll give me 100% of their resources to stop those bad things. So typically I'm looking at cyber resilience, and really that, I would say that has changed since forming CISO ToGo. I've really focused more on making sure that my clients are in a position to be resilient.
That's so cool. So there is no one cyber incident that made you go, aha, it's been a series of them. And then the trend is, oh, wow, they're coming at us faster and harder than ever before. And that just keeps on.
So there are obviously there are certain trends, right? So phishing is a prime example of 90% of breaches in organizations face, it could be argued, come as a result of some phishing attack. But what does that attack do could go on ad infinitum, right? How they get at you once they're in, what are they intending to do once they're in, could be very different. So the resilience piece is important.
Is cereal a soup?
Is cereal a soup? Good God, no.
Mm.
No, cereal is cereal. What, what are you thinking down there in Greenville? Is cereal a soup? Soup is,
You would be
how
surprised.
much
You will be
cereal
surprised.
is a breakfast food. People don't generally eat soup for breakfast, except the one time that I accidentally poured oyster stew over my cereal was a horrible
Oh,
experience.
geez. Oh, geez. Okay, I love that you have such powerful opinions. This is what you get with QuickFire. It's just like right away. So, how do you measure return on investment in cybersecurity?
How do you measure return on investment in anything accurately? So, in my opinion on return on investment is it's a numbers game. And the
Mhm.
operative word there is game. And depending upon what you're trying to show, you're going to be able to spin numbers to show whatever you're really trying to do. In my opinion, the more important concept is not from a financial return on investment perspective, but how is the business benefiting? And those may be soft benefits, but how is the business benefiting from having a sound cybersecurity program in place? Now, for instance, real quick, I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole, but
You got it. You got
real
it. Go.
quick, if you can begin to demonstrate that cybersecurity is somehow not only supporting business objectives, but perhaps even increasing revenue or turning the clients on to new opportunities that you had not yet sold them on, because you can demonstrate that you're mature and in a position that you can support these, that's return on investment. To really put a dollar amount on that and spin those numbers in a way, I think people spend way too much time doing that.
Yeah, the idea that somebody has to write a check for what we do somewhere, and that person's usually the CFO or in the CFO's
Yeah,
office, and that really tempts us to try to make spreadsheets that make them
yeah,
happy. And the only thing that I've been, well, the only success I've ever had is going to a CFO and saying, I can't tell you what the ROI is from a dollars and cents point of view. That's your job. Go work with the general counsel and figure out what our cost for a breach is, and then let's work backwards from there. Is that a strategy that is sound, or am I missing the
no,
point?
I think that's sound. I would just add to that, one of the things that I look to do with every organization that I walk into is to ensure that there's some governance function in place that oversees the cybersecurity program and investment. And that governance
Cool.
function that I like to put in place involves and includes the CXO people, right? So the CFO is sitting on there, the chief legal officer is sitting on there. Ideally, the CEO or president is sitting on that governance function. So as you have these recurring, say, quarterly discussions with them, they inherently and innately understand the value that you're bringing, and it's not a sell at budget time.
Oh, I love that. And it really flies back into your conversation about the role of the CISO being a strategic
Right.
asset, because that takes a long time to set up. It gets the ball rolling. And what that does is it solves cybersecurity problems 2 to 3 years from now. It isn't a firefighter responding to emergency right
Exactly.
now. Man, I love it when we just echo chamber back and forth and we agree. It's like we're completely
But
smart.
but
Speaking of
but
being
hot dogs
smart,
is still an abomination.
I got another food one. I don't know why they're all food. Since tomatoes are fruit, does that make ketchup jelly?
Not if you're pairing it with peanut butter.
Okay. Oh God. Oh man, I love listening to how your brain works. Yeah. Your practical application. No, not it. Yeah, that's it. Your brain immediately goes to, let's see this thing in action in the real world. That's fantastic. All right. How do you handle the balance between user convenience and security?
So I would say that, first of all, user convenience cannot be the driving force in an organization. If it is, I think we need
Hmm.
to refocus on what are we actually trying to do here. Um, that
Cool.
being said, security, cybersecurity, information security, however you want to think of it, can also not be seen and accepted as an impediment to people doing their jobs. So the balance, if we need to strike that balance, I think it's in making sure that people understand how they can use the tools and the capabilities that are being implemented on their behalf to make their jobs more successful. They may initially perceive it as not as quote unquote easy or convenient, but I think if we look at more successful versus convenience, we could drive some better results.
And I'm willing to bet that governance board that you talked about, that you set up, really helps guide that. And so I'm almost believing at this point that it's not your responsibility to create that balance, but it's rather your responsibility to create a space where the people who are being impacted, the business being impacted, gets to guide that balance.
Yes, absolutely correct. I never sign anything. Nothing ever comes out from the CISO or the fractional CISO or the security office. It all comes out from this governance function, which has all those important names on them.
So it's almost more important for the CISO role to be really good at getting work done through other people. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. Like, you have to be a master at working with people and getting work done through people while understanding the overall objectives.
I check my pride of ownership at the door, right? I don't have to see have to see my name on everything. I don't have to see my company logo on everything, particularly because they've brought me in as their CISO, and I advertise myself as an extension of their workforce.
Is it pronounced GIF or GIF? GIF or GIF? GIF or JIF?
So you're asking somebody from Rhode Island to provide advice on how to pronounce something, which may be your first mistake. But
it's almost insulting you to your face.
I'm going to go with GIF, Alex.
Oh, you know what? I think you're a human being then. I also have powerful opinions on this, and I believe it's GIF as well. And so far, 100% of the two CISOs I've talked to has said
again,
GIF.
GIF is a peanut butter. So how do I know what you're referencing?
Can you describe a situation where you had to make a difficult decision related to cybersecurity?
Yeah, actually not that long ago. So despite everything, all the best laid plans of mice and men, incidents will occur, and hence my importance or my emphasis on cyber resilience. But when you're handling an incident, there's kind of this uneasy balancing between getting the business back up and functioning as quickly as possible, resumption of business activities, and a preservation of forensic evidence and understanding the how did this happen and why did this happen. Not all organizations are at an adequate maturity level to be able to provide that balance, right? They need to focus on one more than the other. And when that occurs, more often than not, I think it will be on the side of get my business back up and running. Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. I don't want to talk about how and why. I want to make my widgets and get them out the door. So in those cases, sometimes it's got to be this, for someone like me at least, a difficult decision that I say, well, okay, I'm going to put the how and why on the side burner for now. I'm going to try my best to preserve as much as I can to allow me to go back to that, but my focus has to be on business resumption. Because after all, what good is understanding the how, why, and the ethereal around something if the business is in risk of shuttering and, going out of business because they can't meet expectations? So to me, that's a difficult balancing act and decision in those situations.
And those situations actually happen.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. I would say in every incident that I've ever been involved with, there is always a moment of, do we do A or B because we can't do them both?
And then you have to make the call and then live with the questions from the board 3 to 6 months later. What happened at this time and why? And you might have to stand up and say, we chose to get the business up and running, and therefore I lost a lot of the forensic data that would have helped me answer those questions. And that's the call I made.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I get paid the big bucks, I guess.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I'm sorry to all those people who like it, but no.
Correct answer.
I can't explain it other than saying no.
No. You were 100% right. Look, I'd say that sushi is a delivery mechanism for wasabi to my mouth. And so I just get normal California rolls because the wasabi is what I'm there for. Pizza is a delivery for meat and cheese to my mouth. I do not need pineapple on my delivery mechanism.
It messes with my palate too much. I'm off for days after that. I can't function.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wade, CISO ToGo, the man, the myth, the legend. You've just heard his story. Now go read the book. The movie's coming out soon. Thank you, brother.
Take care.